So, right, I'm going to open up my folder. No. Oh no, sorry, I'm going to import my imports, and then we can go to find my folder. Save that. CAD 2D. Right, I've got to go down here because it's not showing up at the moment in my file type. I've got to go to all files and then it will eventually show up, and then I can go plan, village underground, open. Okay. Right. You'll notice when I bring that in, it's already got some 3D elements to it. Okay, I'm going to get rid of them because I don't want that. We just want this here. Right, what I'm going to do is create a new layer as well and call it 2D. Draw 2D plan. And then I'm going to add, if I select, highlight everything, I right click on my 2D plan and I can change object layer down there. So now when I click on the 2D plan, comes in. Right. Okay, let's get the other parts to it. So, DXF. I'm gonna do the workflow again, guys. So, because I'm gonna keep having to do this because we want to bring in all of our elements, and then what I'll do is we'll line it up. So, what I'm gonna do today, though, I'm gonna just keep on going. All right, because otherwise, I think it's important to show you the workflow. I'll record this, so then you can go back to it and use it. We're gonna get a lot more out of this if I just keep flowing on. All right, so. Then I'll want you to go away and tackle it. Try and do it yourselves, and then you can. So there's that. Then we'll get section AA. Okay, continue to open drawing. Save as DXF. So, right. And I'm going to go File, Save As, DXF 2000 though, I backdate it to 2000. Sometimes when you don't backdate it, say if you saved as a 2010 version, it won't open up within Rhino, because basically Rhino's been, the actual program you're using has been created before 2010, so the file types, you know, the programs won't actually read that file type. Could be a bit of a pain, but right, so I'll put that in my 2D. So I'm going to put section AA. Okay, DXF 2000, we'll save that. I'm going to go to Rhino and I'll go File, Import, section AA, Open. Okay, now I want to make sure these remain highlighted, and then what I'm going to do is go Transform, Move, and I'm going to move them out the way just so basically they don't get tangled up. Right, so we've got that. Now, what I want to do with these, I'm going to create, again, I'm creating a layer for all of these, okay, so section AA. And then I'll select them both and I'll go change object layer. Now we can select one at a time. Now what I want to do with these, though, they're not 2D, I want to kind of make them 3D, so I'm going to position them onto the 3D model in the positions that they, you know, would be found. So how do I do that? So in my right plane, I've got them both selected. I'm going to go transform, rotate, and I'm going to select that point there. Hold down my shift button, which there we go, like that. And then in my, does everybody see what I've done there? So then I've rotated them. So now if I look in my 3D view, okay, and then what I'm going to do is rotate them around once more. So rotate, in this view. So therefore, what I can do now is go and I'm going to do this again, don't worry. So I'm going to go transform move, select that end there, and then we can place that on there. Transform move. Okay, oops. Not right. Yeah, got ya. You know, it doesn't matter. That end's obviously a bit thinner, so I don't know if we've got the end bit to that. We can work around that, guys. You know, when you're doing 3D modeling, necessarily, unless you're taking your 2D drawings off of it, no, you know, it's what are you going to use this for? One, maybe for 3D printing, two, for your rendering. In rendering, nobody's going to go over it and measure anything with it, as long as it's, you know, a representation of it and looks kind of to the eye like it is, like it should be, then generally it'll be alright. So, I mean, yeah, we can just shorten that a bit. We'll work around it anyway. Okay, so we've got that. So is everybody understanding where I'm kind of going with this? Yeah, just okay. Now again, the same workflow, so I can close those files. I don't need them anymore. The only reason why I was opening them up in AutoCAD is just because I need to change it to DXF. Okay, and it's, you know, if generally it might be a nicer idea. You'll see my workflow. It's just simpler to simplify. If you want to simplify the files within AutoCAD before you take them across, so there's not, you know, some of the detail you just don't really need. Okay, so we'll get the file, export, save as, sorry, DXF 2000 again, and I'll just go in, as I said, I'm putting them all in my file there. I'll save the other one as well while I'm in here, just to speed things up. And my final one.
What did you export the AutoCAD file as?
DXF 2000. Okay, so open. Yeah, you will. What, in your AutoCAD? Go File, Save As, and just go up to AutoCAD Drawing, and then down below your DWGs is the option for DXF. So you just go Save As. You don't need to export it out. All right. Right, I've got all of them now. Okay, file, import. So say, make sure you move it whilst it's still selected, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it all in my top plane, and then I can go transform move, transform rotate. and I'll select the endpoint there. Now if I go down into my right plane, right, okay, so we go transform, move. Doesn't matter if it's not straight, as it's generally. Actually, for now, just to speed things up, I'm going to make it straight, okay guys? It's just a bit easier then. Section AA, I'm going to put this also onto its own layer, section BB, just so I can select it easily. Right, so I'm going to go change object layer. Right, so that's on one layer, these two are on one layer, and my plan's on one layer, okay? It's important always to put stuff on different layers. So now you can see we're beginning to build up just a kind of realistic drawing of the actual area. As I said, I'm going to just keep this square for now because, I mean, you guys can go into more detail when you model it, alright? Okay, so we've got that. That'll be alright. Okay. File, import, transform, move, whack that up there, create a new layer for it, section CC, right click on there, change object layer, okay, now again, I need to flip that around, so I'm going to go transform, rotate from that end point there. To there. And also, if we look at it, it's actually the wrong way around. So this end needs to flip, rotate right around to that end. So I'm going to rotate that up here. So we go rotate from that point there to that point there. Okay, and now I can place that right, cool. Does that make sense why I'm doing that, guys? Yeah? Reference. Now I've got a nice 3D, you know, representation of that. Now I've just got to use the various shapes basically to replicate it, okay? So I've got all my heights there. I don't need to go back into AutoCAD and keep referencing, oh crap, what's that? I can just literally pick points now off of this to extrude up to, right? It's just going to save me a lot of time compared to, yeah, other ways of doing it. I mean, you could, you know, I've seen people, well, my old way that I would do it is, rather than bring the drawings, DWGs in, I'd measure each individual line from AutoCAD, and it just takes time. This workflow is a lot quicker. Right, so, now we've done that. Okay, I'll leave them. Now, I'm ready to start extruding up my walls, okay? So, if I go into plan here, and I can use this tool here, which is the solid, and we can go, click on the block. Now I'll just start down here. So, I'm going to click there, click one in my plan view, click there. And I'm going to do these walls individually because I said we can use this model again to laser cut out an actual model. So if all of our parts are separate, we can use I showed some of you guys the make 2D within. Yeah, make 2D. I'll explain a bit more about that. So we can take this 3D model and we can take walls and pick walls and so forth, and we can take the actual make it into a DXF again. So then we can put that DXF straight onto the laser cutter, and it would just save you a lot of time. You don't have to sit there with a scalpel for hours. In the space of literally, I think it took me 5 minutes to cut out this model once I'd created the 3D model. And it's just showing you as well that, you know, necessarily why do we use 3D modeling? It can be the model itself can be used through a number of different things. Okay, so you can use your 3D model for one, you can use it for taking your 2D drawings off of. Two, you can use it for rapid prototyping, for 3D printing. Three, you could use it for laser cutting. Four, you can use it for rendering. You know, you can do everything with it. So that's why I can't stress enough how important it is to learn a package. You know, it could be any package, but generally a higher end package such as Rhino, as opposed to SketchUp's all right, but the only problem with SketchUp is the output files for, like, for instance, the use on 3D printing and laser cutting. It can't do half the stuff that you can do in Rhino, basically. So you know you can your designs can go and be a lot more kind of complex if you're using a program like Rhino. So yeah, makes sense, guys. Yeah. You guys, you've had tutorials all day, or yeah, I saw you guys in. It's alright. Yeah, because I'm only with you guys for 2 hours, aren't I? So it's not long. As I said, that's why we're gonna blast through this, and I've recorded it so you can go back to it and use this exact workflow. So if that works nicely for you, rather than if we did sit here and everybody goes at their own pace, we won't get anything done. So I've got to utilise the time. I'm going to try and sort out room as well for next week, hopefully. So what I've done there, okay guys, I picked my 2 points referencing off the model, so I'll just do this, and I'm going to work around my model, okay? So I'm going to go there, I'm going to click box, I'm going to select one corner there, and then we're going to go, now I can reference off of that, okay? Yes, I know that it has got the curve on top, we'll add that in a bit. I'm just going to do the rough outline for now of the building. So there, curve, click one area, go up, there. Again, it's always good to reference to your 3D software, because you see on mine then it started up there, so it's important to do that. So as I said, doesn't really matter. If you miss something that's, you know, not dead accurate, it's not the end of the world. So I'm just going around now, literally using the same tool, and then picking points. Can everybody understand what I'm doing here? Yeah? Yep. Pretty simple. I'll double click on here as well to maximize the screen, because I don't need to be in any of my 2D views for now. Because we've got this reference here. See, the wall only goes up to that. That's why I put my other drawings in, because then I can see, alright, that goes up to there. Yeah, and do make sure that your drawings are all obviously to the same scale, and you'll realise that when you bring it in, okay, if something's a bit out. So yeah, I'm just, you know, see, for instance, I can click there, and then I can just go to my 2D and I can click there, and it will move that up to that height. Right, so I'm using the referencing. And you've got to make sure at the bottom here we've got our O snap on, okay? So when my O snap's on, I can't pick up points on lines, but if O snap's on at the bottom here, I can pick up my end points, near points, and so on. What's that? Well, you see, I've referenced on there. I don't know. Like, I didn't have to means I didn't have to pick it, measure it. I can just reference off of my drawings. What's that? Yeah, there is, but that's the. I mean, you know, it's analyze up here. There's analyze, and then we can go to length, right? And then I can pick a line there. Oops, not that one. Analyze length. Select that, and it's 2,539.99. I can't be bothered to input that. What's the point when I've already got it? I can. That's the reason why I've located it up, just to make your life easier, basically. Okay. It's yeah. Right. I'm gonna have to in a minute. I'm gonna have to do like you see this shape here. Rather than I'm going to show you what I would do there. I suppose. I mean. Necessarily, I'd like you to start off this way. There is a way we could just literally sketch around the whole outline and then just extrude up as one, but let's keep things simple to start off with, alright? If you want to jump the gun and go ahead and do that, by all means, but I'm going to just keep it as simple as possible to start off with, and then we can go on to the more advanced techniques later on. I'll show you what I could do. That area, right. I can see there though I haven't gone far enough with that, so but what I can do is I can go solid edit tools, faces, and I can move that face, okay? So move face, select surface move, so that one, and I want to move that face from that point there. Look, it's just not moving to that point there, okay? So there we go. So it's that done. What's that?
That gap is like kind of core. It's like a void. Yeah. Void between the walls. Yeah, it's like that.
Right. Okay. So got that now. Because these were taken from AutoCAD as well, I know that they're flat, right? Sometimes you'll find Rhino basically. Hang on, I'll explain that better if I look at the. I'm just going to whack all of the 3D actually onto a new layer, and I'm going to call it 3D walls. All right, just so I can select them all. Notice this selection menu, when that comes up I can select the then I go down to my 3D walls there, change object layer, and then I'll turn them off. Right, yeah, that explains it. So if I look at these from the side, my right angle, you notice, yeah, they're completely flat, and that's good. So what that means is I can use these drawings to do different features. So what am I going to do first? What should we start with? Let's turn A off, B off, and my plan off. So I'm just left with this, yeah? That drawing there. Now, as we can see, these arches here, if I get my front plane up and go into that, we can see the arches are an important feature. So, what I want to do now, if I create a new layer, I'm going to call it arches, right? Now I can recreate that arch by clicking there. So actually, probably a better way to do it, guys, is if we use the arc tool. So I'm going to draw a line from there to there. Then I'm going to draw a line that goes from the midpoint. So I'm going to click on my midpoint tool down here. See it picks up the midpoint, and I'm going to go up to midpoint on there. Right, and then I'm going to use the arc tool, which is arc center starts angle, okay, or start end radius. Right, so we can go end. Actually, I'm just going to change that one. So now if I go round also with tool there, to there, to there. Down to there, down to there. So I've just changed that arc, okay, from the drawing over to my the layer that I'm working on, which is arches, right? So now what I'll do, I can delete those ones now. I've got my area there that I want to extrude. However, there's still a slight detail. There's a door in this one, okay? So if we go there, that curve. So that. And I go up to my arches and I go change object layer. Then that moves that across like so. Now I go trim all. Press return again. Yeah. So I've moved it. Now I've got my area. Now I've got my area that I'm ready to extrude, okay guys? So I'm going to go, first of all I've got to join all the lines together, so join, that. Uh-oh. Right. I might have got that a bit wrong.
Attempted. Yeah, attempted.
Attempted.
Oh.
Attempt.
So what I'm doing here is joining it up. Okay. Join. There we go. Now notice it's one enclosed area, guys. And I'm going to extrude that area by showing my 3D, my plan. So I've got that now. So there's one. Now I'm going to repeat that process again, guys, for the rest of them. So as I said, I turn everything off so that it doesn't basically interfere with when I'm doing it. I'll get the CC up. So if I just pick these lines here, and I'll go to arches and I'll change the object layer so that they move those curves across. So when I turn that off, there we go. And then I will pick a line that goes from there to there. I'll delete these two lines and I will join that line up with there. Right, now I'm going to trim so I can trim all. Yeah. Right, I need to put in two lines up there to replicate this. So I'm going to use the curve tool to just replicate that. Press return. Now I can delete that curve. Now go trim all. Now I've got to use the join tool to select and join all these lines up together, so therefore I can use the extrude feature. Okay, now that's one. I go down here, we go to extrude, close planar curve. I'll turn my plan on. You can kind of get the drift of what I'm doing here, right? So okay, so that's that one. Again, I'm going to repeat that process. So imagine how long this would take you to do other methods. You know, it could take quite a long time. So if you follow this method, you'll be done. I don't know, what's that taken me? 25 minutes so far. So right, and then we'll do the last one. Do you know, is that raised there, guys? You know, this last kind of, so that's slightly raised in there. This bit, yeah. So when you go in here, this is slightly raised, yeah? Okay, so what would I do? What about this end room here? What's in...
Through that arch, it should go down. There's stairs leading down. Yeah, that whole top floor, right?
So in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, what about what's at that back bit there? Okay, so what would I do to replicate that? Hang on, I'll make sure I'm on. Alright, so what I'm going to do, guys, is just add a... Yeah, I'm going to add something that goes in like that. Just using blocks again. And we can build these buildings. I mean, because if you think about buildings, all they are is literally a combination, well, a lot of them straight shapes. You know, it's not. So we've got that. I'm going to turn off. I'm going to go to arches again, turn off my 3D, turn off my plan so it doesn't interfere. Now again, what I'm going to do is going to select that line, select that line. So select that line, that line, that line, and that line. And I'll change that over to, I'll go change object layer. And now when I turn the section off, that remains there. What I will do also, take that and that as well across to my arches layer. Okay, so we'll turn that off. I haven't been here before, guys, so I'm totally freestyling it, but I just want to show you the workflow because that's the most important thing. Then what I'll do is we'll take a line that goes down, and remember, if I hold on, hang on, I want to make sure I'm in my front view, okay guys, because that'll make sure the lines are straight basically. So I can get rid of that line, and I can use this tool up here, my polyline, to go click, and then if I go up there, that will reference down. Click there, press return to complete, and again, if we go across there, I go up to there to get reference. Right, now I'm going to join them, join that. Okay, so we've got that, join, I don't think this will work, no, right. Now I'll extrude that, so that and that together, go to my edit, undo. Okay guys, I'm going to neaten this up. Notice that there doesn't join, alright? So what we can do is go solid, edit tools, face, move face, that there. Yeah, easy fix. Just want to fill in the gaps really. So we've got that.
perspective viewport is still working.
What's that?
My perspective viewport is still working.
Yeah? Have you uninstalled it and yeah, do that. Okay, so what I can do as well, now we're going to do the rest. So I've got my side views, so section AA, we'll use these now. I'm going to turn everything else off. I'm going to put them both on a different. Guys, I'm moving this one across these view here because it's going to interfere with that one, so I'm putting it on a completely new change object layer. So these two are now on different ones. I'm going to start there. Right. So I'll turn my 3D off as well. I want those to go on arches. Right, now we're ready. Side 3D. Change object layer. Join. Then we got to go feature, extrude.
How do you select all the objects on one layer?
What's that?
How do you select all the objects on one layer without selecting everything?
Does there not an option to select objects? Right click and select objects on the actual layer at the side. And it says select objects down there.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Yeah. Just gonna turn my plan off. Right, there we go. That's working now. That's weird. Right, I'm gonna just draw around that again. And I'm gonna create elements. There we go, because that wasn't solid before, guys. I had to recreate the line drawing. And then we go plan. Okay, so I've got one end. I'll put my 3D walls. I'll go transform, copy from that point there. to that point there. Yeah, I'm recording the whole thing. Got that. Okay. So now it's beginning to, with my arches on as well, it's beginning to take shape. I'm just going to add in, if I go to my 3D walls layer, and I'll add in, yes. What's that? Yeah. All right. Well, I just want to show you the methods. You can change it if you need to be, but I want to try and get as much as select curve to extrude. So I'm going to use the box tool again, guys, to just fill this in. Okay. And then one more. I'm completely freestyling this bit. Right. Cool. So we notice this bit down here, guys. I can create that by, if I go into my top view, go there, there, just tracing over the top. Right, I've just traced around that, guys, because that's a bit more of a, you know, a different shape. Rather than extruding up a box and then having to rotate it, it's a lot easier just to draw around the shape. And once that's done, using that tool there, not just single lines, but the polyline tool. And once that's done, I can go to here and I can go, ooh, but there's a problem with that. Notice, yeah, can you see what's happened there? That's basically because it's it's locked onto a point on the 3D object, and that's what you got to be careful of. In order to extrude up a nice flat shape, my actual sketch itself, my drawing needs to be straight, whereas if we look at that one, it's far from it. Although it looks in that view like it is, when we look in this view it's not so. What I'm going to have to do is go like that. So what's a good idea, this is again, if I just click on my other ones, I'll turn my walls off, so then that therefore means I won't be allowed to, I can't, you know, click onto anything. So there. If I turn my plan off, right, so then I can know that I'm clicking onto that point now. I'll turn my 3D walls off. You're seeing how I'm using the kind of layers to my advantage, yeah? That's why it's so important. Otherwise, things just get really tricky. So I'll click on there. And there we go. There's that nice walled section. Okay. Now we'll do the arches. Right, so if I click on my arches layer, I'll turn all the others off. Right, I'm going to put these ones here onto my 3D walls now, change object layer. And what I'm going to do is go into my front view. And I'm just literally going to click along there. Okay. And then I'm going to click on there and click along. So it's replicating the arch. Press return. Use the curve again and click along. There we go. Now, I'm going to create a new one called arch roof. Select that curve, select that curve, select that curve, and change, right click and change object layer. So now I can turn that off and I'm just left with them. What I'll do is turn my 3D walls layer on, and we're going to use the surface tool now, guys. So if I go here, and we can go to, where's extrude surface? Extrude straight, okay. So there, I've just literally, all I've done there, I'll just do that one more time, okay guys? So I put the actual lines onto their own layer so I can select them easily. So right click, change layer, and then I can just go into my surface tools. Difference between a surface and a solid, anyone? Solid model. So these are all solid, what I've drawn here, they're all solids, but I'm just about to create a surface. What's the difference between the two?
Solid is a separate object. Solid is one solid, and then the surface is just like, it will just be like a flat piece.
Yeah.
So it will leave it inside hollow.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's hard to, it's kind of difficult to grasp in a way. A surface has no, you know, a solid has a thickness kind of thing. So being the best example is if we went to 3D print a solid, we can, because it's actually got a thickness, whereas a surface is in the software, we can see it, yeah, but it's actually zero. So it's like a skin, yeah, but it's got actually no thickness. So if you try and print it, it's useless. So you've got to basically, if you want to 3D print a surface, you have to add a thickness to it, which you can do in Rhino. Why do we use surfaces? Because one, they're a lot more, you know, you've got a lot more freedom for creation with them, kind of thing. You can do more complex stuff that you just generally like free-flowing shapes and so forth. I'm just using a surface here. I could make these, I mean, if I wanted to make these into a solid, what would I do? I could I'll make them into a solid, alright? I'll show you. So at the moment, if I just turn my 3D walls off, if I just select them and go here and go extrude surface, where is it? Extrude surface, straight, there it is. And I'll turn on my 3D walls. So that's literally, those are just surfaces. Can you see there that they've got nothing? They're no thickness to them. Whereas if I go back into here and I go to my front plane, offset distance 270. Right, so I've offset that. There we go. Yeah. So if I turn my 3D wall on, I can see it's nearly there. Right. What I can do is I can basically create a line. I think those walls should be about 270. So create a line from there to there. I'm going to use the extend tool. Okay. So extend. Select boundary objects. Yeah. All right. No. Extend. Again, I'm writing in the commands. So that I want that line to basically extend up to that line. So then I can select like so. Did you see what just happened there? Yeah. So I've got that line. Rather than go and draw a line that might not carry on that curve, I can just use the extend tool. So extend, I think you can do that tool within AutoCAD as well. If you've got a line that doesn't quite meet, type extend and it will extend the line up, alright? It's really useful. So that's my boundary object. That's the object I want it to go up to, okay? And then that's the object I want it to do. Boom. Now what am I going to do to that? What do you reckon? What if I want to extrude that as a solid? Well, it's got these, it's not one, I mean, it's difficult for you to see from over there, but it's got these overhang bits now. You want it to be one, like, continuous loop, basically. So I've got to trim it down, all right? Trim all. Yeah. There we go. Now that's good. Now I've got to do the join so that they're all one object. So there, and there. And now that's one object. Now if I get my 3D up, I go out of there. And if I go into my perspective view, now I'm going to go into my 3D tools, so my solid tools, and go extrude linear 2. And now notice, guys, it's got a thickness, so I can 3D print that, alright? I think all these arches should be the same, so theoretically I should be able to go transform, copy, let's see, yep, so I'm going to select that to there. So that one is, I'm going to have to do that one on its own, but you can see that one's overhanging. So how can I change that? I can go solid edit tools, face, move face. Select that from there. Okay. Well, they're obviously not the same, guys, so we'll scrap that. I'm going to have to just do it. So if I turn that off, we'll just do it manually. So my 3D, right. So offset, I'm going to use the same process again, 270. Down, offset, select curve to offset. That's good. Alright. Might help if I was in the right view. Okay? It's got to be in the front view, okay? Because otherwise if I'm in the 3D view, You can offset at any direction. So now I'll go offset there, boom, there we go. What tool next, guys? Extend, yeah. Cool. Extend. Select boundary objects, that one and that one. I can select two at once and then I can just click there. Oops. Okay, select boundary objects there. Oh, went a bit weird, so I'm going to just trim that all. It's not the end of the world. Oops. Alright, can you see what's happened there, guys? It wouldn't allow me to extend because that line is not straight, alright? So there we go. Offset. Extend. That one there, that one there. Enter. Send. Just gonna do that again. Extend. There. Right. This line's not long enough, that's why I've good. Trim. All. Cool, that's that done. Join. So we're going to join that. Join. Right. Okay, now I'm ready to extrude these so I can put on my 3D walls, and we can select that one first. This one's a bit off. Do for now. So we've got that now. Right. Stretch. Last part. Right. Details as well, guys. For this model, it is nice to have, not that one, section AA. There we go. Right. This now. It's good to have the actual bar. These beams go. I think they go across, don't they? I don't know how many are there. We'll see in a minute. But so, what do we do? I'm gonna make a new layer. Call it beam. Truss or not. So I'm going to select all the points. Right, I'm going to change that object layer. So now that means that turn that off and I'll have so what I'm going to do is go around first of all the outside of this. So I'm going to go from there to there. Yeah, and then we're going to go
Can you not just double it, duplicate that item, and then use that tool or the mesh tool to make it a solid?
no, do it this way.
The curved one.
What's that?
You know when you can have two things next to each other, and then instead of making it like a surface, you can make it a solid from selecting the faces.
No, stick to this way, because it's the problem is that the drawing before. Also, we're working on somebody else's drawings, so necessarily they're not great. It's always good to do stuff from scratch because you always encounter problems. If I'm starting a new project, I'll start it from scratch and won't use kind of sketch around stuff. Okay, so I've got that. Then I'm going to go extrude. So just give them that a thickness of 100, alright guys? So we'll give it a thickness of a... I'm going to put that 3D section I've just made onto a new layer as well. Change object layer. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the cylinder tool. And what's... See, because these bits in here I think might be cylinders. So, if we go analyze length. .46, right? So we'll draw a cylinder. Right. Center. There. So rotate. What do you mean? This one that I'm doing now. It's on the hang on, it's on the section. Wait. Is it on one of these, isn't it?
Yeah, is it on that one? How many is there?
I don't know. Go there and count them. Come along to cut and paste next week and count them. They're there like that. Great. Yeah, that's what I would do. So what I'm doing at the moment is just putting the... I've made see it in the 3D. Kind of like I made a circular shape. And then I'm locating them along the I don't know. Are they flat? Are they circles? Are they flat? Alright, well that's easy. What? Alright, let's do that. I don't know, I haven't been there. I won't remember being there next Thursday, I don't think either, man.
Are you involved in a competition? Just going into it?
No, I'm involved in, I'm going to be running it.
How come you're not going to enter it?
I did enter it, but they're changing the concept of it, so it's not really suited to my area. So what I'm going to do then, if that's
I'll see what oh shit, I'm keep because I see you quick wheel. Yeah, so you
yeah, right. Okay.
There's like
Doesn't matter, it's easy. Once you've done it, you can change it.
there's another shape beam though as well. There's 4 of another shape beam. Which I'm gonna set for.
Really?
Yeah.
It's fun, isn't it?
They're like tight.
What I'm just doing, by the way, guys, is getting rid of the other curve because I can't be bothered. Right, let's spool so I can. Now, you can start to extrude those bits that I've done. 100. And I have to move all these into place in a minute. Yeah. What's that? Yeah. Yes and no. No, because you'd have to draw it at the side, scale down size, so you can make sure that everything's at least a millimetre thick. Does that make sense? Because if I scale that down, for instance, and those are only, I don't know what's the size of them? Yeah, it'd be too thin, so it won't print. So you've got to draw it kind of at scale. So there we go. I've got a beam now, right? Oops. Yeah, there's one beam. Now if I put my... Whereabouts do they appear? The whole way?
Yeah, I think I'm ready for 4. I don't know exactly.
Right, I'm just going to add a load in. So I can go transform, array, along curve, number of items 4. Oops, hang on, edit, undo. So yeah, I can just pick one of those edges and it will array along that curve. So if I actually select everything from there, so we've got that, and that. Solid, union, Cool, so when I click on it now, it doesn't work. So, I have got it on a layer. What am I doing? I'm getting, I'll turn off the other ones. Join. Group. Yeah, so that's all grouped, so if I select it once. Now I'll turn on that. And if I select on that, I go Tools, and Transform, Array, a long curve. I'll select one of those curves. Say there's only, let's say there's 5, so it looks a bit better. That's that. So now I can turn everything on. So we've got arches, 3D side. So forth. There we go. Right, cool. So that's given me. How long's that taken me then, guys? Yeah. 4 o'clock. So hour and a half. I've recorded that, okay, so you can follow it along to get to this point. I'll have to do all the, what's that? Problem is the quality won't be that great. You'll just have to come and get it off for me, alright, and I'll do it all properly. Yeah. What's that? Yeah, it's got me swearing as well, so it's under my breath. Okay, I better turn it off actually now. See you. Right, so